Hi there, it's February the 10th and we continue our journey through Matthew's Gospel. We're in chapter 26 and we're looking at verses 47 to 68. So here we are in the unfolding denouement of the story of Jesus leading up to his crucifixion. Jesus has been praying in the garden, praying that the Father's will would be done, and here now comes Judas at the head of a great band of religious leaders and their police and soldiers ready to arrest Jesus. Judas indicates that he's going to show who Jesus is by simply giving him a greeting kiss. And Jesus actually responds to him and says, "Friend, what are you doing?" Almost like Jesus saying, "Are you really going to go through with this? Do you realize what you've done?" But Jesus is taken, his hands are laid on. Now Matthew says one of those with Jesus, and traditionally it's Peter, elsewhere it says Peter, but Matthew doesn't give us the one who it was, but someone takes a sword and starts to attack those around him. And Jesus says, "Don't stop. I've not come to fight with swords. Those who take the sword will perish by the sword. Put it away." And then he says something interesting. He says, "Do you not think that I have the power to call 12 legions of angels to my protection?" You see, Jesus wasn't without ability to power through this situation, but rather he is choosing the way of suffering. He's choosing the way of servanthood. He's choosing the way of self-giving. And so they take him away, and they take him to the house of Caiaphas, the high priest, and here Jesus is subjected to a kangaroo court. Actually, under Jewish laws, the court should not have been meeting at night anyway. There are no witnesses that can be found, and so two false witnesses are brought forward whose testimony is that Jesus said that he would destroy the temple in 3 days and build it up again. And then they ask Jesus directly, "Are you the Christ?" Jesus answers, "You said so, but I tell you this, you'll see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of glory. You will see me glorified." At this, they break out in anger and say, "We've heard enough. This is blasphemy." He's taking to himself the words of God and making them his own. And so they beat Jesus and they hit Jesus, and then they say a horrible thing at the end. They say, "Now Christ, tell us who hit you. Prophesy to us who hit you." C.S. Lewis, in his Chronicles of Narnia, in the closing of the book The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, has Aslan taken by the evil powers, and they are cruelly beating him and laughing over him and pulling him and hurting him. And there's something powerful about that picture of the great lion, the powerful animal, being subdued by little evil people. And there's something here of that picture as we see Jesus himself taken, calmly answering, not being shaken, not being turned away from his purposes, being attacked by the men whose desire is simply to harm him and to hurt him. As we see Jesus in this way this morning, our hearts go to him, we respond to him. But we recognize too that Jesus does not employ power. He does not overpower those around him. He's going to go a different way. He's going to submit himself so that he can get to the powers that are really behind them, and of course the power of death itself, over which he will triumph. Have a very good February the 10th.